Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, everybody. John Reed, #9. Well, John Reed's a boy called Arsenal, you know what I mean. I've just realised the name StreamYard without a bracket, close brackets. So, we're on to Chapter 5. Liverpool Family, 1976 plus. Arsenal, by his own volunteer, basically volunteer, volunteer, but also by that of his siblings and parents. I guess better. Why not an easy child or young adult to rub along with? It was difficult to have a conversation with him because of his crippling stammer. He seemed slower to learn than other people of his age, and his range of intelligence was limited. By any 16-year-old's standards, he could talk about football all day, but he supported Arsenal in a football-mad city that primarily followed Liverpool and Everton. I have not been to Everton for a while. Also, sorry if this video seems to keep a bit jumpy. I keep coughing, so I've got a bit of a cold coming. I could keep the coughs in and drinking in, but I don't know if I want to hear that, so I'll carry on. Just do one recording now. And always did. He rubbed people up the wrong way. 33 years later, a gang of angry Liverpool fans after Arsenal Football Club (AFC) had been beaten them. He had no problem in telling them that Liverpool are shit. not having the correct level of adrenaline produced by fear to generate fight or flight. So he would make his decree on the guilty of Liverpool football x something or other to any angry mob, and then just stand there and wait to see what happened. He says he had only ever been in one fight in his entire life, and that was when he was still at school, but openly admitted to taking some terrible beatings from opposition fans. His love for FC didn't sit that well with his own brothers either. His older brother Eddie, born 30th of March 1961, was a Liverpool fan, and Mark, born after Arsenal on 25th November 1965, was also a Liverpool fan. Pat Flynn had 3 lads under the age of 5. Jackie, his eldest sister, came along on the 12th of February 1968. Seymour on the 28th of November 1973, and finally Jenny was born 9 years later, on the 15th of June, 1982. Arsenal today doesn't have a relationship with Jenny, and herself says that Arsenal doesn't feel like a brother to her, and they never even guess 21 years is something of a gap between brother and sister. More on the siblings later. But what kind of relationship did Arsenal have with his parents? Arsenal's dad and his brother practically say that Arsenal Pat/mother's favourite. A fact that Arsenal doesn't dispute, but doesn't recall. Looking back, Arsenal being the favourite makes sense, which is true. Okay, take a quick drink of tea. Who was always in trouble, who always needed extra help with schoolwork, who found it difficult to make friends and never really had a best friend, and who took until the age of 6, Pat in the diagnosis report says this was 4, to express himself verbally, and even then through fragmented spluttering of words. Any mother would love her children equally, would seem to spend more time on the neediest. As in most working class households in the 1970s, the father was and that was the role worn by Tony Whittock in his home. He would be the one to give Arsenal a crack around it. I thought I was going to say give Arsenal a crack around the head. Fucking hell. Didn't see A. He's got some crack, I want some. I'm joking if anyone's listening to this point. If he wasn't behaving or being a sore loser, we now know that when Arsenal made that triple X tackle on poor Pep, he wasn't trying to hurt Pep, but just take the ball. Although Arsenal's dad had a slightly different recollection to Arsenal, supporting that to win the ball back. This something rather after an event, and with no autism diagnosis to explain why Arsenal did what he did. Most something rather involved a smack or a crack of some form. Arsenal's relationship with his dad was impacted by 2 major events that occurred within a week or 2 of each other. Arsenal believed they didn't impact him overly, but they could not have been easy for a young man struggling with his own identity to deal with. Or, to use Arsenal's word, process. He was only thought to process after his 49th year birthday. Alan. So, what about your parents? How was your relationship with your dad? Arsenal. My real dad is still out there. I went to my cousin. fuck's sake. I went to me cousin's. He was called Popeye because when he went to sleep at a sleepover, he kept one eye open. I must have been about 15, I think. I think so. So we went to my cousin's. There was a guy in the kitchen in the corner, just sitting there. He never spoke to me or nothing. And when we came out, my cousin went to me, you know who that is, don't you? And I went, no. And he said, that's your dad. That is not a way you should be told that's your dad, but hey ho's. Arsenal. Oh, sorry, Alan. God, good Lord, what a way to find out who your real dad was. Arsenal. I know, I went, what? You was joking. And that's how I found out. This must have been 1976. I was around, it was around that time I must have been 14, not 15, because I was probably in the same week, because me mum and dad got married on the 6th of April 1976, and so I Saturday, the wedding, and everybody. How about does it? I thought does it for this video. We are 50 pages into the book. It's going good so far. But as always, thank you so very much for watching. And as always, goodbye. Don't forget